What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Happy Wednesday. Who was first today? We had Mod Kevin Go. What's up? What's up, Giant Robots? What's up, KL130, Craig Lilly, Tony Arton. Who else we got in here? Chemical Aid, James Ray. Keep on going down. Staying 2007, lots of familiar names. A couple of new names, actually, though. Scooter. Did I say Craig Lilly already? I didn't miss Craig Lilly, right? He was second. Or, no, fourth. Who else we got? We got Chase Atwood in the house. R-Flet, the resident tech drama sharer. So we're gonna see what tech drama there is. When OnlyFans, says Balter. What's up, Zub-Zero? When OnlyFans? I don't know. If I made OnlyFans, I would have to think of some creative content for that. That would be worth subscribing for exclusive stuff, but it would not be anything that is inappropriate, that's for sure. It might be borderline, like provocative, but only case fans, yeah. I think you have only haters, not only fans, Kick. What's up, Adrian? What's up, Solstice? All right. So we're just chilling, but R-Flat says, this week's tech drama is Quinfall, a game that is looking like another pump and dump like Day Before. You know what's really sad? I was excited for the Day Before because I am a big fan of like survival, like loot and shoot games. I think primarily because I played H1Z1, which is not a thing anymore, unfortunately. That's like what got me hooked onto those styles of games. But the Day Before failing, you know, was pretty bad. For a game that was so hyped up for years, for it to fail like that is very sad to see. But Power World, on the other hand, which if you guys saw the benchmarks I released this morning for the 7600 XT compared to the other cards that I tested, I'm playing Power World now, which is super fun, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit more later on in stream. But this game, Quinfall, I've never heard of this. Another pump and dump. If you want to play, you buy directly and not from Steam, so no refunds. What is this game? Well, we just small talk before we get into the meat and potatoes of this stream. Quinfall. I mean, okay. Wait, what? You said it wasn't on Steam. But it says it's coming soon to Steam. But you think it's gonna be one of those pump and dumps where it's all like just trailer based and not actually good gameplay? I've never heard of this. LAN Party OnlyFans. Actually, no, I would, see, if I did that, I would just put it behind the YouTube membership stuff. So one of the things that I've thought about for like future content is uncut LAN footage. Because every LAN party, I end up with like, you know, 15 hours of footage that most of it obviously does not make it into the video because the videos are like 2 hours long. So I was thinking of just releasing just uncut, unedited, maybe the parts where I'm like completely naked for the shower scenes I'll cut out or blur, but for the most part it'll be unedited. So the pacing of the videos will definitely be a lot slower because, you know, during the LAN parties, it's not constantly yelling at each other, playing games and stuff. Sometimes it's just downtime, we're just chilling, hanging out. But just to drop all of that into a timeline, do very minimal editing, and then just releasing it, I've thought about that. So it would be like revisiting every LAN party slowly, like going back to the 2016 first LAN ever, releasing all that footage uncut, which that video was like 30 something minutes long. So the uncut version, back then I didn't record nearly as much. I started recording more and more as the years went on. But there's definitely over like 2 hours worth of footage from the original LAN party that we did in 2016. So yeah, that's just things I've been thinking about doing. Let's see, what else we got? Damien. Hey Danny, I've been good. Tired though. So I was trying to get the 7600 XT actual review video out. So far I've only released my raw benchmarks, which people do seem to enjoy those. On some of my review videos, people are like, why stop talking, just show the results. So it's like the best of both worlds how I do the 2 video releases. I mean, I have the 7600 XT, it's right here. It looks just like the 6600 XT from Power Color, like the Hellhound model. You wouldn't be able to tell unless you read this little sticker back here that this is a 7600 XT. But so I finished testing it, which was, I ran into a number of hiccups testing, which was annoying, but there's no way I could get the video out by today. So I'm shooting for end of week for my actual review, but we can still talk about it because I mean, I have the numbers and I've looked through them and all of that. I just haven't produced a full video with all my thoughts like summarized and all that yet. Just because I do everything by myself. Like I set up the tests, I do all the tests, I look out the numbers, I record, edit and do everything. So it's just, this got to me, I believe last Wednesday. So for a 1 week turnaround, it's a really hard schedule, especially when you run into problems, which I did. I was getting like some weird results. I could actually show you the videos of my results from 7600 XT testing. But yeah, so couldn't get it out for embargo, but I got something out to hopefully help people make a decision. And we'll talk about the 7600 XT performance in a bit. Let me see. What do we got here? What's up, Zen IP? I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be reading it in a certain way or if it's just indeed is Zen IP. Let's see. VictorCat is exporting a meme video, so the stream, so when you upload to YouTube, or I guess I've never run into this problem because I watch stuff all the time. Maybe not stream specifically, but when I'm uploading videos, I'm definitely doing stuff on the side because I'm bored, and I don't think I've ever run into that problem. Shay Henry was an H1Z1 player. It was the bomb, right? And then it changed to King of the Kill, which was Battle Royale. I don't remember if King of the Kill came out before PUBG or afterwards. But King of the Kill was essentially Battle Royale, you drop into a map. But then, so H1Z1 separated into 2 games, King of the Kill and then Just Survive. I was like, whatever about King of the Kill. You know, it's like PUBG, it's a Battle Royale game. But I really like Just Survive. We had a lot of fun times, me and my friends playing Just Survive. You know, building bases, trying to scavenge for like weapons and stuff, fighting zombies. Super fun experience, so. You thought King of the Damien also is nostalgic for H1Z1. King of the Kill was the best Battle Royale. I don't know if it was the best. H1Z1 controls and movement and stuff was a bit clunky. So is PUBG. But I would say PUBG is a little bit smoother than H1Z1 because it's the newer game. But yeah, I was a Just Survive type of person. I did play a little bit of King of the Kill, but it wasn't a huge into it. They're using, okay, so back to the Quinfall thing though. They're using all purchasable assets in the trailers. You know what's funny? I just came across another game today that looks just like Pal World. So with regard to, let me see if I can find it. I was just watching it. Because Pal World is like the biggest thing right now. It's been less than a week and they're up to 7 million sold copies. People are thinking, they're up to, I think 2 million concurrent was the highest, which PUBG right now takes the lead, so it might pass them, but we'll see. I'm having a lot of fun in Pal World though. Hopefully it sticks around because I spent money on it and they don't get sued into the ground by Game Freak or the Pokemon company for, I don't think there's much grounds for them to get sued, but we'll see. Power World is a completely different game than Pokemon. Where is my... Come on, YouTube, what are you doing? I'm trying to find my watch history. Oh, here it is. Where's that game? Man, I watch some random stuff on YouTube. But I'm trying to find the game that is like, that looks like Pal World. It randomly got pushed into my suggestions. Oh dang, never mind. Maybe I watched it on my phone on a different account or something. Okay, let's see what else people think. Jason says Tarkov isn't on Steam either. Shrug. I actually was not aware of that. I thought there was an option to get either. Steam. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because going on Steam. Escape from Tarkov, yeah, is not here on Steam at all. Only purchase through developer's website. I mean, they don't have to pay the Steam fees or cuts, so it makes sense for them not to release it on there. We want the shower parts. Leave the shower scenes. Oh, Uncut Land would be awesome. Jason says, speaking of Uncut, are you... Such a dirty mind, Jason. Why is that where you think of the first thing? Are you open to giving PC part... Yeah. PC part picker suggestions. If you have a PC part picker list, as always... we have the Discord. You can drop it in the stream submissions. Just drop it in there. Okay, I already see that you put it in there. Perfect. So I can take a look at that later on during the stream. So you did exactly what I was just gonna ask you to. Zen IP is an NVIDIA simp. Interesting. What's up, Hazard Me? What's up, Import Race? You can still play Just Survive. Can you? Can you play Just Survive officially with like the official client or on Steam? I don't want to do this like offshoot, private server thing where you have to download their like custom like launchers and all that, because I don't know what some of these developers of these games, like they could potentially try to hide malicious crap into, malware or viruses into these game files. So if you could play Just Survive officially, I'd be down with that. But I don't want to play it if it has to be like some kind of fan-made continuation project after the fact. Just because it seems a little sketch. H1Z1 was the driving force that got you into PC building, not gonna lie. Nice. I don't even remember how we found H1Z1. Like, I don't remember, does my Steam history show like when I first bought the game? Because it feels like so long ago. It feels like H1Z1 was canceled for as much time as I actually played it at this point. Let me see if I can find it. And because they had the name change and stuff, yeah, I can't even find it on the Steam game listing anymore. It seems like they took it off. 7 Days to Die, I'm also a fan of too. I couldn't get my friends to play it, and it's kind of boring for me to play that one alone for some reason. I bought it, and we played a little bit of it, but that's one of the games that I wouldn't mind getting into. I just wish some of these old games would be cheaper, because then people would be less hesitant to buy it, especially like cheap people, aka me and my friends. Then we would be able to play it and not feel guilty. Like, how much is 7 Days to Die now? Isn't it still like 20 or 30 bucks? Oh wait, no, what? It's only $6? I need to tell everybody to get that. It's a 2013 game. Early access still. Right now it's on sale. Yeah, it's down from 25 bucks, which is kind of expensive for a 2013 early access forever game. But $6? That's more convincing.
Have you ever had a nightmare?
What the heck is that? I have something playing in the background. Give me 1 second. What the heck? What is playing?
Have you ever had
Oh, it's on the Steam website. My Steam browser is playing the trailer for 7 Days to Die. Kale130 says, "Lol, Pal World, the latest game everyone is playing but me." It's addictingly fun. To be honest, so I've been following Pal World ever since I've been playing Craftopia, which was their previous game. I liked Craftopia, except it just felt like they were never gonna finish it. And it was just kind of clunky. A lot of systems in the game were broken. It was fun. It was like, hey, open world, multiplayer, Breath of the Wild type thing. So Craftopia, I had my fair share of fun with it, but from that, I learned about Pal World, but it just always seemed like a thing in the distant future that was never gonna come around, and it just snuck up on me, you know, coming out just last week. And surprisingly, I was going into it a bit skeptic because of, you know, what happened to the day before. Like, all right, so many people, or so many of these small indie companies are trying to pop up, make a quick buck, and then just abandon the game. And I thought Power World could have been like that, but after playing, I've probably put in like 15 hours so far. After playing that much, it feels like a pretty fleshed out game that they're not gonna abandon, so. Let's see. All right, let me get caught up in chat. What's up, Demon Mint? I didn't know anything about Power World up until a few days ago. I slightly remember seeing something about it, but I don't know. Been fun, so much potential. Yeah, I agree. My issue with Power World initially, before it came out, and why I was skeptic is also was most of the stuff that they were showing looked like trailer-based things, like not actual gameplay, but just stuff that they set up to look like it could do a lot. But you could actually do a lot in Power World, and the gameplay isn't far off from the trailers that they showed, like the cinematic sequences and stuff like that. It is very close to the same thing, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, I haven't played multiplayer mode yet. I've just been playing solo, which is surprisingly fun, and there's a lot to do. One thing from Craftopia though, Craftopia you could take your character, go to different worlds. With Power World, from what I can tell, it seems like you can only have your one character per world. So if I have my single player character, I can't bring that one into the multiplayer with my friends and, you know, bring stuff back to my world. It looks like you have to have one server per world based on what I'm finding so far. But yeah. Wait, what'd Meg say? Someone super chat him $6, lol. Wait, why? Oh, to buy 7 Days to Die? I have 7 Days to Die. No. I don't need $6 to buy it. I already have it. Plus, when you super chat, they take like a cut, so it wouldn't be the same thing. But no, what I need to do is convince my friends to get 7 Days to Die so that we could play it during some of the LAN downtimes, because that would be fun. I believe 7 days. I don't get that. We've talked about that before. These games that are in forever alpha stages. Like, what's up with that? Lethal Company is only $10? Shoot, how much did I buy it for? I think I bought it at full price a few weeks ago. Okay, let me see if I can find this other, let's see. This game, when I came across it, oh, wait. Is this it? The front, not the front. Enshrouded. Was this the game that I was watching? Give me a second to pull it up.
So the tour. I needed stop.
Yeah, I think it was this game, Enshrouded. So when I saw this, because we were just talking about assets, right? Like, I think these are Unreal Engine games, and you can just use assets and, you know, build your game around it. So this game, because of, you know, just me looking up either MMO or open world survival games, this game popped up. So this game, so I started looking at it, I'm like, wait up. Now, doesn't the character models and just the environment and stuff look very similar to Power World? Looking at the menus and stuff, a little bit like it, but so this game doesn't look like it has, like, it's not a monster capture game, so that makes it different. But in terms of just the aesthetic, the, you know, the art direction or style of the game, the environment and stuff, this, I was like, oh, this looks like it reminds me a lot of Power World. But it's funny, so now I'm thinking, because this has such similar character model to Power World, I'm like, wait, so is Power World, are they ripping off some assets? So we'll see. Either way, I'm having fun playing the game. I just hope that they stay afloat, because I think it could potentially be a very huge, fun, long-lasting game. Jason with a good point right here. They don't gain anything from full releasing. I think when you full release, you could typically raise the price on the game. Because, like, early access games typically have, like, what, a $20 to $30 price point. I'm trying to think of any early release or, like, pre or alpha or beta or whatever that has, like, a full $60 price tag. But once if they do full release, they could raise the price. But by that point, I don't know how many new people would be jumping in on it, right? I feel like most people would have already bought it at the lower price by then. But yeah, it is, I guess it makes sense that if they stay in like a pre-release stage for as long as they can, they don't have to be as fast to fix bugs, or they could just leave some bugs forever, so yeah. Because they don't want betas to play them. Y'all and your puns and jokes. Over 6 million copies, 27 a copy. Steam takes 30 bucks, 113 million revenue. Or 30% rather. Yeah, I think the thing about this though is there's a large non-American player base, and I don't know if it costs 27 or the equivalent of 27 US dollars in every country. It might be cheaper and more accessible in other countries with different currency conversions. But either way, they made a boat ton of money, right? They made a lot of money, whether or not it's over 100 million or not, it's still a lot, and it blew their expectations out of the water, so yeah. Hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing? We got Coalition Gaming Chris in the house. Darkness Falls is updated. Always wait till Darkness Falls is updated to play law. Okay, look up 7 Days to Die. Give me 1 second. I need to post this into our Discord. LAN games list. Okay, that's posted. Pinky Tech says they didn't get my $27. Looks like an interesting game, just not enough time to play a game like that. Yeah, that's though with Power World, it's so easy to sink like 10 hours into it, and all you did was build your base or like try to breed, because it takes time. It's a crafting game. You have to gather the little materials to build up to stuff. Which right now, cement is my kind of like roadblock, just because it's not easily, you can't produce it on your own base. You have to go out and hunt for that, the bones and the water or the liquids. So Yeah. And yeah, I feel you, Pinky. Like once you have like, you know, full-time job, kids, stuff like that, it's harder to play games where you have to sink hours and hours of time into it to progress, as opposed to like games where you can hop in 30-minute, you know, quick Apex Battle Royale or something and then hop back out. Yes, the Valheim. Dude, Valheim, I feel like, so when Valheim released, I also played a crap ton of it. Like, I played so much. I think I put in 40 hours my first week, which would be the equivalent on top of my full-time job, doing another full-time job of playing Valheim. But then the developers, they took forever to come out with like the big updates of the new biomes and stuff. So it kind of fell off. I am still down to play with like in like a mini LAN setting with my friends and stuff like that. I've suggested it to them. We just did a small Terraria session like over the weekend, a couple of weekends ago, where they actually had a mini LAN at James's place. I couldn't go because it's a little too far, but I played remotely. But the whole weekend, people just played as much Terraria together as they could. So we want to do the same thing for some of these other games, like now Power World. I'm down for 7 Days to Die, and for Valheim, because it's, I mean, those types of games super fun. We played Valheim during the LAN parties. There's footage of it, and we had a blast. But okay, we'll talk more about the games and stuff like that in a little bit. The main topic that I wanted to talk about today was the release of, or at least the embargo lift of the new 7600 XT. So I have my thoughts on it, but I want to hear some of your thoughts. I've been busy today, so I don't want to watch other content creators coverage of it until I get my own video out, as to not be like influenced by them, right? But my thoughts on the 7600 XT is a bit underwhelming. I think if you release a new card, in terms of how much it costs, you should not be able to buy something for the same or less amount of money that performs better than it. I think if that is the case, then you kind of lose. But it's not just a 1-to-1 comparison or ratio just based on like average FPS numbers. I'm talking about the 6700 XT. The 6700 XT for like the last, it feels like a year or even more now, has been going for $330-ish plus or minus 10, right? This card releases at $330. So right now, if you go to Newegg or Amazon or whatever, you have a $330 budget, you're either getting this or a 6700 XT. I guess you could get, if we're talking about AMD, if they're competing with themselves, right? Based on my numbers, the 6700 XT is faster than this card by about 10%. So 6700 XT is better by 10%, but 6700 XT has 12 gigabytes of VRAM. This one has 16 gigabytes, which you'll hear this, and I'll talk about it more in the videos. I've mentioned this a lot of times already, also on either previous videos or on stream, but as much as people are always getting up in arms complaining about VRAM deficiencies and stuff like that, this card is the perfect case of why does it have this much VRAM when the overall power of the card does not match it, right? The 6700 XT has less VRAM, but is a more powerful card, so it just overall gets better numbers. Now, you could argue that in some cases, when you are, you know, loading up that VRAM buffer completely, you might get better 1% lows or 0.1% lows, but I mean, even with the 6700 XT numbers that I was getting, it's not like the 6700 XT was stuttering or giving a bad gameplay experience because it had 4 gigabytes less of VRAM. Sure, the 1% lows might have been lower, but it wasn't low enough to the fact that it gave a perceivable difference, right? Like, let's say you have 1% lows of 50 versus 40 on average FPS of like 60 FPS. That's not that perceivable of a difference. It's not like the 6700 XT having 4 gigabytes less was running into single digit frame drops or anything like that. So let's see. Demon Mist says, I've been so far outside PC hardware tech that I didn't even know that the card existed till release. I feel like this one kind of, like, there wasn't a lot of hype and stuff building up to this, like, in terms of leaks and rumors. And I don't know. It does fill a gap that AMD has had since last spring or summer. Because remember, the 7600, that released in what? Is that May? June timeframe, right? So it's been how many months now? Coming up on like 7 or 8 months that they've had this gap of like you have a $270 card and then $450 card with the 7700 XT. Like, can something fill the void in between? And that's what this thing is. You know, it's $70 more than the 7600, but 120 less than the 7700 XT. So it fills that space, but I wish it came either with higher performance or just, I don't know, it feels like this thing should have been maybe 10 or 20 bucks less. Let's see what you guys' thoughts are on it though. Dang, Demon Man, you played 33 hours so far? Do you have Steam or the Game Pass version? I played on the Game Pass version. It was so good, and I wanted to play multiplayer that I bought the Steam version. And then I had to do like the little file transfer conversion thing for my save files and stuff like that. Chris says, really wish the memory bus was wider. Loonies, oh wait, no, that's a question. What else? The specs compared to the non-XT are very underwhelming. Yeah, dude, if you look at the specs between the two, like, for the most part, the clock speeds, it looks like that's the only thing that increased. Like, everything else, and the VRAM, of course, but everything else, like, shader counts, stuff like that, is, like, identical. 7600 XT is a pig with lipstick, says Mag78. No. So Victor Cat has not seen any reviews of the 7600 XT. Is it like the 4060 Ti 16GB? No. This is, so in my numbers, obviously everyone's numbers are different, but in my numbers, this is the same level as 4060, which is kind of, if you were expecting what AMD brought from last generation, where the 6600 XT was better than the 3060, so you would naturally think like, okay, if AMD can repeat that, then the 7600 XT should be better than the 4060. But that's not the case. It's kind of neck and neck depending on the games that you play. There's some games that are heavily skewed one way or the other. Like, let me see. So, like, for my testing, like, Fortnite really likes NVIDIA, which isn't too surprising because it feels like NVIDIA... I don't know if Fortnite is considered a partner title to NVIDIA, but I know with all the ray tracing implementation and stuff like that that they've done in DLSS, Fortnite and NVIDIA have a good relationship with each other. So, like, Fortnite is a game that's skewed towards NVIDIA quite a bit. So is, let's see, Forspoken as well. What else? Power World for my testing. Power World also likes NVIDIA cards, it seems. So, but other games like Last of Us, what else? Call of Duty, those skew towards AMD. So depending on which reviewers you watch, I think there's gonna be quite a big variance in terms of like average percentage differences between like this card and the 4060, depending on what games you test. I tested 14 games. Across my testing, I'll show you the numbers right here on the screen. Across my testing, you can see it right here. So here's all on average. Actually, my average and 1% lows are very similar. So here's the percent difference between this card and the 7600 XT, right? So like the 6600 XT I found was 17% slower, the 6700 XT was 9% faster, and the 4060 was a dead even. It was the same. So you do see in some of these, like you have a 22% swing towards the 7600 XT, but then you also have a 17 swing towards the 4060. So it just depends on the games that people test. That's why you want to not just get your source or your information from one source. You want to watch multiple reviewers. And if you look at my 1% lows, it's very similar, right? So 1% lows, again, the 7600 XT and 4060, despite being 8 gigabytes being tested at ultra settings, 1440p, it washes out at the end of the day. For the 6700 XT, 1% lows also performed very similarly. 8 versus 9%, I'd say that's pretty much the same. And then 21% lower versus 17% lower on the 6600 XT. So yeah. I mean, the 6700 XT, like I said, so it's 10% faster according to my findings. I haven't looked at every other reviewer, but I'm confident enough in my testing methodology and like the way that I test that people should get within this number. Other reviewers should get with at 10% plus or minus 5. So you probably see a swing across all the reviewers showing the 6700 XT being anywhere from 5 to 15% faster. Now, at the same price, in what world would you buy a 7600 XT? I can think of 2 reasons. If you're trying to future-proof yourself because 16 gigabytes of RAM, maybe in some future titles, will be way more beneficial. I tested Hogwarts Legacy. I tested Last of Us. Those are all titles that had VRAM issues when they were initially released, but they have since been patched, and those issues have been taken care of for the most part. But also, if you care about AV1 encoding, 6700 XT, last gen did not have AV1 encoding. This one does. I don't know how many people care. Every time I poll it, it seems like there's not many streamers or content creators out there recording footage to care about AV1. So, there's not a lot of strong points for the 7600 XT. But if we look at the numbers, and we do keep like this about 10% performance gap between it, we have for a long time said the 6700 XT is a great value card. And I'm going to repeat this point because I feel like nowadays reviewers are being negative almost more so because there's an incentive to be negative. If you have a thumbnail or a title that like exudes negativity, more people are going to be willing to click on it and watch it. We just said the 6700 XT is a super good value card. This card at the same exact price comes in at 10% of the performance. Being at the same price, 10% performance, more VRAM and AV1 encoding, does that necessarily make this a horrible card, a bad value? You have 6700 XT at great value, praised card. You take 90% of that performance at the same price, and all of a sudden, you're at waste of money, horrible like value. Like that doesn't make sense to me. I'm usually I'm not negative in reviews for the most part. So this card, I'm saying it comes in kind of mediocre, a little bit lackluster, but I don't think by any means it's a horrible value card. If we're using the same metrics that says the 6700 XT is a great value card, which I'm pretty sure everybody that I've seen, whether it be Gamers Next, is Hardware Unboxed, myself, Jay's 2 Cents, Bitwit, Paul, Daniel Owen, the list goes on of every tech content creator out there is easily able to recommend the 6700 XT. And you're telling me this card, 10% performance reach of it at the same price, somehow is horrible? Doesn't make sense to me. All right, I was kind of preaching for a little bit there. I was going on a tangent. Let me see what people are saying. Mr. Guillotine says it's about what I expected it to be. I feel like it should be a cut down 7700 XT though. Would be a better still at that price if you want current gen on a budget, I guess. Yeah, I think there's still going to be people who are going to be buying this card. You're either choosing this or the 6700 XT if you don't mind. Like, you're going to pick it over NVIDIA if you don't care about ray tracing and stuff like that. But I don't know, some people, especially if they start phasing out the 6700 XTs now that the lineup of 7000 series cards are more fleshed out, people aren't going to have a choice between the 6700 XT and this unless they go in the used market pretty soon here, I would imagine. So once that becomes the case, you know, you're going to have more people adopting this. And again, if someone bought this, I'm not going to be like, oh man, I can't believe you bought that. That was horrible value. There's better value or better FPS per dollar stuff out there existing, but that does not necessarily make this just a piece of crap garbage card, which I don't know. We'll see. Once I start watching the reviews, we'll see what all the reviewers say. I haven't consulted with like any of my other friends who, I think I saw Mark release the video for including this card today. I don't know if like Toasty Bros or Zach or any of them, but I usually don't consult them when testing cards and stuff like that. Tavian says, I hate NVIDIA as a company, but never consider running an AMD GPU in my main PC. Tavian hates NVIDIA, but never considered using an AMD GPU in your main PC. Why not? You should try it. It's not as bad as most people make it out to be. Mr. Guillotine thinks that he'll end up with the 7600 XT. It'll be a few months, likely wait for a sale. Yeah, if this thing goes on sale, you know, 320, 310, 300, then it becomes a much more compelling card than the 6700 XT. It feels like Intel is getting more hype than AMD in the GPU arena lately, which doesn't speak well for AMD. I mean, I haven't heard much on Intel side of things, aside from their, you know, people are slowly adopting their cards more and more, but because they're not releasing anything new, I haven't particularly heard any buzz or hype you know, around them. AMD is doing a weird trend with the 7600 XT and the 7800 XT. Not sure on the 7700 XT, but yeah, they are small upgrades over the non-XTs. Yeah. Well, for this one, I wouldn't say it was super small. So I got 17% slower, which I redid the math. So it depends on, so the math on this, and you have to pay attention as to how reviewers present you the information. So when I do this percent difference in this column, I'm saying the 6600 XT is 17% slower than the 7600 XT. But if you look at it the other way around, how much faster is the 7600 XT than the 6600 XT? You have to recalculate it and use the 7600 as the reference. And now you're saying it's 22% faster. So either 6600 XT is 17% slower or 7600 XT is 22% faster. It's the same thing, it's just which card you use as the reference baseline. But, so I don't know, 22% faster than the previous generation, that's actually not that bad. I think between the 7800 XT and the 6800 XT, it was way closer, right? This is a decent bump up, but you're comparing like a near $200 card to a slightly over $300 cards. Percentage wise, like, was it $240 for a 6600 XT right now versus that's $90. That's a big percentage. I heard AMD has pretty big price gaps that don't match up to performance. Is this true? NVIDIA does the same thing. NVIDIA freaking between the 4060 Ti, which was what, $400 to the 70 or to the 4070, which was $600. That's a $200 price gap. And then when you went up to the 4070 to 4070 Ti, it went from $600 to $800. And that's just from a Ti card. So that's huge. And then from the 4070 Ti at $800 to the 4080, which is from Ti to a, you know, non-Ti card, which is, I consider those kind of like half steps. That's $400. Now, obviously the price has changed, but I'm talking about MSRP here. So no, AMD is not the only company that has big price caps. They kind of all do. What happens is both companies have kind of big price gaps, but they need to fill in each other's gaps so that then you have like, you know, a card at every $100 price increment or something. So it's like if NVIDIA had like a $800, $600, $400 cards, then AMD comes in and fills it at like $700, $500, $300, if that makes sense. So what? They're pushing it as a budget 1440p card? Okay, so let's take a look at AMD's official page for the 7600 XT. So here's the 7600 XT landing page for like on AMD's official website. So they do show both 1080p and 1440p, but because it performs about, you know, 10%-ish or so weaker than the 6700 XT, did you consider the 6700 XT a true 1440p card? Or is it a max out 1080p, can do a lot of 1440p, but not all AAA titles and stuff? So they promote, look at these numbers that they give, and then you get the with FSR 2 or 3 quality mode, with the fluid motion or frame generation, and that's how they pump these super high numbers. I don't know what they were intending this for, whether it's leaning more towards 1080 or 1440p. I would say probably equal, more so like esports and lighter titles, 1440p, and then everything 1080p. If you're spending in 2024, if you're spending $300+ on a card, it shouldn't even be a question whether or not it can run games at 1080p. Part of the reason why I did not run 1080p benchmarks, because, dude, it doesn't matter what card you get. 1080p, you're gonna be busting over, you know, 100, 200 FPS depending on the game. Plus, I wanted to bottleneck the graphics card in my situation because I'm pairing it with a more realistic CPU. So I paired it with the 7600, which, you know, is a more realistic pairing than putting a Ryzen 9 with it. So that's why I ultra'd everything at 1440p to bottleneck it. This is a good point by Demon Mint. AMD does usually drop their pricing quicker than NVIDIA does, especially if they get backlash, right? Like remember they like kind of last minute changed the pricing of the 7600 from 300 down to 270. So they haven't done that yet, but depending on the reception and sales and stuff like that, we could see the pricing of this go down more, but we'll see. Anyone know why these cards were embargoed in the first place? What do you mean? Every graphics card release or launch, when they send samples out for reviewers to do early testing, they always have embargo dates to make it fair, right? Because it wouldn't be fair if, and I guess to build hype too, because all the videos are gonna release at the same time. Whereas if you sent this out to, like, you know, all the reviewers, people like Linus and Gamers Nexus and the bigger ones with more employees, they're gonna be able to crank reviews out faster. Whereas people who are a single person like myself, there's no way I could get a video on this out in like, I mean, I couldn't even get it out in a week. So they put embargoes in place so that people don't get a head start, as well as to keep the information from leaking as best as they can. You have to sign NDAs and stuff like that, agreeing to the embargo. So Epic works closely with NVIDIA. Yeah, that's what I thought, just because of all the ray tracing and DLSS implementation. Is that the Hellhound version of the 7600 XT? If so, how are the temps and fan noise? I mean, the Hellhound is kind of like the mid-tier card. The Fighter for Power Color is kind of like their entry level. I've used Fighter cards though before. They're fine. The Hellhound, I think, is a great card in terms of like cooling and like fan noise and stuff like that. I've never had any complaints. Yeah, I mean, they have plenty large fans and a capable cooler. Plus, these aren't all too power hungry cards. Yeah, like for for a card of this caliber, like, you know, two fans is like plenty. Yeah, so people are asking about overclocking and stuff like that. I don't overclock in my test just because if you get different silicon lottery, you know, that kind of makes it unfair between the cards that you're comparing. If I do like a build video, I might overclock a card because then I'm just showing the performance of the system that I built and how much I can push it. But for these side-by-side comparisons that I do, I never overclock just because running it stock out of the box is, I think, the most fair way to do the comparisons. But, I mean, we can look at the numbers. So, let's go to... so, here is the benchmarking results. Let's just pick a game that we know loads these cards up very heavily, like The Last of Us. Pretty much every single instance of it is basically running at max load compared to the CPU, which is, in The Last of Us, actually... It's actually more CPU intensive than other games, but across, let's see, all these 50, 70, 66, and then 58. I'm trying to think. None of these temperatures are alarming. It's the same power draw, but the 6070 XT in this case does have the benefit of being 3-fan, so it's about 10 degrees lower. And then the 6600 XT is a just much lower power card. Like the board power, this is the board power that is basically read from AMD's Adrenalin software. So like, I mean, it was running at what, 100-ish watts, whereas, you know, the 7600 XT was near 200 watts. Temperatures aren't alarming though. Let's see, Power World, we're in the mid 60s as well. I don't think it ever broke above 70 degrees. Looking at all the results. Yeah, Cyberpunk's another heavy game as well. So mid 60s. I don't know if people find that to be super hot or not, but anything under like mid 70s, I'm okay with. Okay, this is kind of off topic, but I honestly would watch LTT's reviews first and then move on to like Gamers Nexus and others after that. Why hasn't LTT reviewed a GPU in 4 months? Oh, well, I think it's because they are, after the backlash that they got from the community based on, you know, Gamers Nexus video and the whole comment that they made, I think they want to get their process down right. And basically flawless, foolproof, so that there's no way something like that could ever happen again. Which I don't think is possible. Like, I don't know, man. I wish I could go and hang out with, let's say, Hardware Unboxed or Gamers Nexus or something like that, and watch them benchmark to see if I could pick or ask any questions about their methodology to see if they are doing it perfectly. I mean, I know they get really scientific about it. Also, I want to see Steve from Hardware Unboxed, because I think the way that he tweets it out, it seems like it's either him. It seems like it's mostly him benchmarking. But the amount of benchmarks that he does, at the amount of resolutions that he does, for the amount of graphics cards that he does, it just seems inhumanly possible or impossible. Like, it took me so long just to do 14 games at one resolution. Well, I did 14 games, but then I did some frame generation and ray tracing and stuff like that. Because you have to do multiple passes, and then when you install these games, they require freaking shader compilations. And then when you change the graphics card, it requires you to redo the shader compilation. And then when you find a mistake in one of your runs for whatever reason, and you have to do the rerun and pop in the other card, it's just, there was so much time that was spent. I want to know how other review outlets do it, because I wanted to just kind of quit almost halfway through and say, I'm just not going to do this review. I'm going to return this card. This is not worth it. I'm like losing my sanity here. But let me see something real quick. Let me show you an example of one of the issues I had. So you can get behind the scenes of what it's like to be a content creator, and how actually stressful it is to benchmark, and it's not all fun and games and getting free products to review. Okay, let's see if I can put this up. All right, Forspoken. This is Forspoken. Look at the benchmarks. This is a 6600 XT. I'm sorry, I wish I could. Can I make this bigger? Not really. This is about as big, because if I go full screen, because of the way I do the window capture, it screws it up. So this is Forspoken. Actually, no, I can do this. I can do this on the spot, maybe. Browser. Come on. Let me make this bigger so that you guys can see the numbers better. All right, this is Forspoken right here, right? Typical benchmark run with the 6600 XT. Look at the numbers. It is about 54 FPS average, 40 in the 40s. Then we go towards the end of the run. All right, we're at the end of the run here. So we're about 50, low 50s, mid 40s on the FPS. Look at the settings. When I benchmark, I also record the settings just in case anything goes wrong. I can look back and say like, oh, so we're gonna go to the settings. You're gonna look at it. It is 2560 by 1440, right? And then the graphics quality is ultra high. This is preset, right? We just did the run. You saw the numbers. After testing everything, I looked at the results compared to the other cards. Something looked off. That number was wrong. I had to rerun the test. Now look at this run. Also 6600 XT. Look at the numbers now. In the 30s and 20s. This is still the 6600 XT. The only thing I did here differently was I restarted the system. There's nothing running in the background. So you see these numbers now? Now when we get to the end, here's the end of it. And we look at the settings. I pull up the settings. Same resolution, or same preset settings right here, ultra high. Same settings. So what would have caused the same exact system with the same exact graphics card, nothing changed in between except for a system shutdown, to give that drastically different results? And that's not something I can just catch while benchmarking, because I don't have every number in my head. It's just something that once you look at everything side by side, it's like, wait, why is the 6600 XT performing better than the 6700 XT and 7600 XT? This is just one example. In this video, I also showed, here's Call of Duty. Look at this 6600 XT right here. Look at this, 13 FPS. Oh my God, this is so choppy. The exact same settings. All I did was I didn't restart my computer for this one. I restarted the game, and then boom. Then it started performing at, like, you know, how it should have in the mid 70s. Same exact graphic settings. I did it at extreme. So this is just one example of my frustrations over the weekend as I was running into having to pop the cards back in, to redo DDU, to, you know, properly reinstall the drivers, to recompile the shaders, because Call of Duty is notoriously known for always having freaking shader optimization, stuff like that. This is me getting stuff off my chest because benchmarking kind of sucks. I wish I had someone who could benchmark for me and I could just like report the results. I like Tim, he is reformed, and Steve at Hardware Unboxed is one of my 2023 TechTube Award winners categories, thinking about things. Wait, what are we talking about now? Hardware Unboxed has gotten better. There for a while they had some whack benchmarks, completely different coolers, RAM, cases, everything different when comparing GPUs and CPUs. I've seen it get better though. I remember people were complaining about like their use of dual versus single rank memory and stuff like that, which they get way more into the weeds and details than any other reviewer, but yeah. Let's see. I am way behind. on chat. I am way behind. I'm trying to get caught up now. Let me see. What part of my PC should I upgrade? Okay, I'm not going to be answering those types of questions so far, but let's see. Wait, Tim needed to be contained? What are we talking about now? Are we talking about Tim from Hardware Unbox? What software do I use to benchmark? I use MSI Afterburner. They have a built-in benchmarking. You can set 1%, 0.1% loads. It's pretty nice. That's how I get all the stuff on the screen. Like MSI Afterburner, there's no good guide out there on how to set this up. I just had to do it by learning and playing with the different parameter names and stuff like that. But like to get it centered so that I could do all my benchmarks side by side and stuff like that, it's just something that I slowly did over the years. And my presentation isn't even the best. I've seen other channels like testing games and stuff. I like their layout better. I just don't know how to do it. But yeah, this is all MSI Afterburner with some information sometimes pulled from hardware info because they can talk to each other when MSI Afterburner doesn't pull the parameters that I want. Just because, you know, some of these new graphics cards, the way that it's coded in, they don't report like the wattage or the memory usage or core clocks the same way that Adrenaline does or something. So, yeah. Johnny Stash says, nerd on a budget, greater than Tech Yes. Wait, is this greater than or just arrows? Or then Tech Yes, Bitwit, Jay, LTT, Gamers Nexus, David. This is a weird, why is David so low on this? And why is Gamers Nexus so low? Why are me and Brian so high up on the list? Is it because we do more use stuff? And Jay and LTT above and Hardware Canucks is last. In order of sexual magnetism. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. If it was a tier list, I shouldn't be nowhere near the top. Actually, with sexual magnetism, I don't even think I should also be that near the top. Like, why am I and Brian higher than Hardware Canucks and David? This list is sus. I like your layout, informative, easy to read for my tired eyes. Thanks. And it's something that it's changed over time. I used to report the individual core utilization, but then I was like, you know what? I actually don't think people care that much. Just get the average and you're good to go. Like if we pull up really old benchmarks of mine, you'll see that over the years, they have changed. Let me see if I can go back down to, like, let's look at this one. Yeah, what was I doing here? I mean, for the most part, it's pretty well, and I didn't do the filled lines on the charts. But yeah, all the core utilization took up so much space back then. The graphics card information reporting is about the same. Yeah, so the graphs here and the the core utilization and clocks. I figured, you know what? I need to condense it down, so I made the decision to axe it. But this was 2 years ago. I was doing this this format. David is very different. David is a very unique tech content creator and entertainer in the tech space. I feel like before David, like Bitwit Kyle kind of filled the space, but now Kyle stepped away from tech, but then not really. He came back. I don't know why. I'm not sure if he's explained it. I just can't, I don't have the time to watch every tech content creator out there. Individual cores is aids to look at. You know what? I would agree with you, which is probably why I axed it. It's sometimes fun to look at because you do see in some games how poorly optimized it is when you only have one core running at like 100% and every other core is running at 0. I don't know if I have anything in my testing that shows that, but I mean, more information is sometimes nice, but for the most part, for the masses, I don't think most people care about that kind of stuff. So. Someone just DM'd me on Facebook asking if I wanted a 4090 for 1400, but I'm so spread thin right now I can't do it even if it's legit. Are they still being scalped? To my knowledge, they are, but we can take a look actually. 1400 for a used one, huh? Let's take a look at both markets. 4090. I don't want a 4090 laptop. Why did it autofill laptop for me? Oh, I gotta fix this window. Give me a second. Can I get this back down to... Come on. Okay, I think this was about it. I think transform. Okay, I think this should be about it. So 4090s used, because I'm assuming that 1400 has to be used. So they're still like 17 to 1800 bucks on eBay, and then if you wanted to buy them brand new from a place like Newegg, we're looking at, I'm guessing 2000 plus. Oh, what are these? What graphics cards are coming with this? 1 second, what are these bundle deals? 4080, wait, what? Oh, you had a 4070 and a power supply for 840 bucks. Okay. Doesn't seem like that great of a deal now. 4090s, 2000, yeah. So about 2000 bucks right now. Yeah, I think there's still a demand for them in the countries that they are banned. I feel like Tavian says, I feel like most people are only watching GPU reviews during game time decisions when they're looking for a new GPU. Skimming through reviews, or maybe that's just me, only 1% low in average FPS matters. So, yeah, I would agree. I personally, like, once all the stuff comes out, I kind of stopped caring about graphics cards for a while until like the next round of them comes out. I don't just go and look at performance numbers just to look at them unless I need it for, you know, if I'm making a video and I'm using one card, because there's no way I can remember every single card's performance relative to each other. So that's when I'll pull it up too. But yeah, for the most part, I don't think the average, you know, gamer out there is just constantly looking at benchmarks unless they're ready to buy. Hey Danny, what is that small tablet you use? I see in all the LAN videos. I actually have it right in front of me right here. I think it should be in the description of this stream even. Let me see. In the stream, I do have a link to my... Wait, do I not have a link to it? It's in all the videos. I don't have a link to it. But let's see if we can find it from here. So we go to my, like just any current video. I thought I would have had it in there. I have a vetted, this is like a splash page of like stuff I use. When I like teamed up with Vetted and stuff, they have like a little page you can use. So I'm pretty sure the screen is on here. Products I use to test PC parts out of the back of my car. So here is the screen. It is the lapel USB portable monitor. How much is this thing going for right now? So this model, this is the thing about monitors usually. I've been using this for what, 2 years now or something like that? So, you know, products go out of, they get phased out, they get new, improved, updated versions and stuff. But essentially, it is a 15.6 inch 1080p USB Type-C monitor. So just search that in Amazon, and you don't need to get the exact one that I got. This lapel one is, you know, it's just a monitor. There's like literally hundreds of similar monitors out there like this, but I'm using one right now and see if I can show it. But it's a nice, small, compact monitor that doesn't, that doesn't take up a lot of space. Can I get it even in the screen? But yeah, I always have one going on. I have it going on right here so that I could put my OBS window on. It's just convenient because it is portable. You can quickly unplug it. You don't need a power brick. It's just powered by USB, stuff like that. And working out of the back of my car, it is also super convenient. All right, let me put this back on. Aren't 4090s like 2800 new? No, about 2000 based on what we looked. Actually, let me see if those are legit. We need to make sure those are legit. Yeah, Stolen Chip by Newegg. Yeah, it looks legit to me. Bitwit, I think, just wanted to do content outside of tech and just to do less tech content. Look at his channel though. It looks like he's kind of returned fully to tech. I remember he made that channel Workhorse where he was like showing his car stuff on it and all of that, but I think he stopped Workhorse, right? Oh wait, he's doing the podcast. I remember now. Let me see. So he does his podcast thing, but I mean, you look within the last okay, he did the Poets, Pedro from PCMR. I mean, only 3 days ago, he did desk setups, which is very computer based. And then before that, he did a PC build, PC monitor coverage. So, I mean, it seems like he's, aside from also doing his podcast, he's also pretty much back in the full swing of things with tech. Where can we find the Workhorse channel though? Can I find that? Oh, he renamed it. So it used to be called, it started out as Workhorse, so now he renamed it Kyle Hansen, and he hasn't posted in 8 months. That's the thing that I pretty much notice from every content creator that tries to branch out to like a second or third channel and not post their personal life or like their on-topic things on their main channel. They do this little side thing for like, I don't know, however much amount of time, and then they abandon it. Unless you're like Mr. Beast, who has like a giant team to do everything, like editing, recording, all that stuff. Because Mr. Beast, he has side channels, and I think he keeps up to date with it. And some other creators do too, but for the most part, a lot of creators I see, they just cannot maintain a second channel. It's a lot of work. One channel is a lot of work. God, I can't even imagine trying to do two. Chase likes Tech Yes City because of his liberal use of WD-40 and motherboard water baths. Baths. I want a similar ultrasonic cleaner as the one that Brian has, and I've been looking at them. The only issue is that they're kind of small. They're like, a lot of them are designed for like jewelry or like some other stuff, but the main component that you want to put in an ultrasonic cleaner is going to be a motherboard. But in Brian's videos, I think a lot of times he either has to put them in diagonally or they're like still sticking out. I want like a large, flat ultrasonic cleaner, and I have not been able to find that. But yeah, he's one of the, I don't know if I've seen other channels use like ultrasonic cleaning or just straight up in the sink cleaning stuff as much as Brian does. Shauner says, oh yeah, so Shauner knows a lot of people who are interested in stay up to date with GPU performance because they are, like himself, kind of like flippers. So yeah, if you're a flipper, you kind of have to know what is the best deal, best price of performance, kind of stuff at the time. Jason asks, have y'all decided on the next game for Land Crew Battles? Overwatch? No, dude, I hate Overwatch. I'm down. They said they would be down for Teamfight Tactics. What was the other game? There's another good game. Let me look it up real quick in our Discord. But Teamfight Tactics would be fun, doing whatever weight scoring method that you're talking about. Yeah, even if we didn't lose at Overwatch, I never really enjoyed playing Overwatch. I played it because my friends played original Overwatch, but I kind of hate Overwatch. And it's not because I suck at it, because there are plenty of games that I like that I suck at. It's just Overwatch is, I never really got into it. Okay, let's see. TFT. Oh yeah, Smash. We should do the Smash one. Smash on Slippy. There was another game though. I'll have to find it because there's so much crap that we talked about in Discord that I can't find it. But yeah. What's up, Miss K's TV? Hello, hello, hello. Looking at the numbers, this is going back to regarding Bit with Kyle. Looking at the numbers, I think he got tired of tech and thought his audience would go anywhere he went. They didn't, so to pay the bills, he had to go back to tech. I mean, I think that makes sense. Even in some of Kyle's own videos, he even said, like, when, was it CES last year? He was like, hey guys, you know, I need money, or I needed, you know, the sponsorship money to pay the bills or something. So I'm doing this CES coverage, but don't expect this to be normal. So then he went to CES and did the coverage and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense. Or maybe after taking a break from tech, trying to do Workhorse or all the other stuff on the side, he did realize, like, you know what? I do miss tech, and he's genuinely back in doing it. So I'm not a big fan of podcast listening, so I haven't listened to his podcast. Maybe he has talked about some of the more personal things on there with the guests that he has on, but that would be my best guess. I'm not trying to spread rumors or anything here. We're just speculating. No, the freeze-dried curry. Is it crunching really loudly? It is very crunchy. Y'all should look up Insurgency Sandstorm. It's a small game. Insurgency Sandstorm. Okay, let's see. I was born in 1957. Sure. It's 10. Oh, dude, no. I don't think we're gonna do any games that we have to pay to play, unfortunately. Just because people aren't gonna play the game after we do the Land Crew battles. It's just, you know, to me it feels like a waste of money. There's so many good free games out that we could play, or free options like Slippy, Smash Bros, that I don't see a reason to make people like pay, especially since this is normally 30 bucks. So normally 30 bucks, no way we're gonna do this, unfortunately. But in terms of a not land crew battles, let me look at this. What is this? I'm just gonna be ignorant and say, is this a Call of Duty clone? I'm just kidding though, don't grill me. You know what this game for some reason reminds me of? When you're talking about like small games from like, let's see, this is from New World, not Perfect World, okay. Did anyone play this game back in the day? Have we ever talked about this on stream? Man, back in, what year was this? 2007? Yeah, back in like 2007 and 8, I played this game so much, War Rock. This was like poor man's Battlefield because it had large-scale battles with vehicles. We're talking tanks, motorcycles, freaking jets. This was like the free version of Battlefield, and I thought this was actually a really fun game. I haven't been following it for like over a decade now, but at the time that it was released, they had like, you know, medic classes, snipers, normal assault, stuff like that. I think this is a Korean game, but it is very popular in the like East Asian market. I don't know how popular it ever got in the States. Xander says, do y'all think upgrading to a used 1080 Ti, isn't that how much they're going for? Let me try to think. The 1080 and the 1080 Ti, there's a decent like performance gap between them, so let me see. I've not been, it's the price of these older like 3 or 4 generation cards can move so dramatically fast. If we were to look for a good working condition one, how much are these? Parts only, pre-owned. Yeah, so they are going for about 160, 170 here. If you bought it locally, didn't have to pay tax and just paid 160 out the door, that doesn't seem like that bad considering the going price. Now, is it worth it compared to what you could get alternatively? For 160, I mean, what else are you gonna get? A 1080 Ti versus a... No, 5700 XTs are a little bit cheaper than that. I would have to look at the whole chart. But just going off the prices of the 1080 Ti's, which usually for specific cards, it's not like a horrible like baseline to compare it to. You paid about as much as a 1080 Ti is worth. How would Land Crew Lethal Company even work? Like whoever can clear the planet faster? But in Lethal Company, you can kind of cheat. Because when you play Lethal Company, you're not supposed to be in the vicinity of each other or use Discord. But because the Texas Land Crew are actually not landing, they usually just play remotely from home, and we are landing and we're in the same room, it's really hard to make it fair. That's the thing. Also, I'm not sure if you've noticed about anything that I do, like competition-wise or any of that. For me, like, being fair is the most important thing. That's why whenever I design, like, the competitions to, like, give away PCs online or something like that, I put in so much effort to think through every scenario of people complaining that was not fair and try to patch it or fix it. So just trying to think of Lethal Company off the top of my head, I can think of so many reasons it would be unfair for, you know, people who are in the vicinity of each other versus not. But also, it's not the type of game where it's like head-to-head battle. It's like 2 different instances and then you compare times or like survivability or something. It's Milsim, so that game that we were just looking at is Milsim, but faster pace. So like Call of Duty, right? Because is Call of Duty considered Milsim, or is it not realistic enough in terms of like, I don't know, recoil, reloading, shots it takes to die, etc. Call of Duty is maybe it's more arcadey. I don't know. I'm not a huge FPS person, so I don't know all the different classifications of the different titles and stuff like that. But Call of Duty, at one point, used to try to mimic like military, right? In terms of realism, and now it's just like gotten crazier. Yeah, I mean, Call of Duty hasn't been realistic for a long time, but at one point in time they were. It's arcade? Okay, yeah, I figured. It's more fast-paced. Yeah, realistic gunplay and movement, tactical shooter. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Okay, let's see. All right, so we got some conversations going on, which is good. I'm glad people are helping each other out in the comments about different CPUs and GPU choices. All right. We are an hour and a half in the stream already. Dang, how did that happen? Let me go over to the stream submissions, because this is where if you actually want me to look at stuff. Oh, sweet, Demon Mitt. I just saw that you posted the Darkfall mods. Thank you for the information. Better progression, actual survival required, harder and more rewarding to play. All right, perfect. We will definitely check this out at some point in time. All right, so is there a better name for, I don't remember if Oweisberf? I don't even know if you meant to have your, the pronunciation like that. Oweis. Okay, thank you for changing that. I appreciate it. It makes it a lot easier to say, but okay, unsure if stream submissions are open. They're always open. Stream submissions are always open, and if you post it throughout the week, like between streams, I would just look at the next stream. But okay, so you posted this in Tech Talk, but you're saying, hey guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is this if I acknowledge it's an insane bottleneck and plan to upgrade in the future the CPU and motherboard? Okay, so we're gonna look at this PC part picker list. I already have everything there except for RAM, CPU, cooler, and GPU. If there's a better upgrade, I would go for them, obviously, since the bottleneck is insane. Noting that my 2060 is on its last legs while I'm planning for these upgrades. Okay. You're just aging. Yeah, you have a 2060. I mean, how old is that now? Like 4 years old by this point? Is it only 4 years old? I thought it. No. Let me think. Not pandemic. LGX. It was 2019, so 5 years old, right? Let me see if I got that right. RTX 2060 release date. I thought it was like early 2019. Yes, January 2019. Okay, so it is 5 years old. Yeah. Had very stable clock. No, okay. Your budget is 500 to 700. Okay, does that just make this a little bit more complicated? So here's the build. So what do you already have? I already have everything except for the RAM, CPU, cooler, and GPU. So we're looking at a $1,000 build. Wait, so what? Why would you get a 3600? Did you explain that in here at all? Game context on skill. How about if I acknowledge insane bottleneck and plan to upgrade the CPU motherboard? You acknowledge the insane bottleneck. Okay, so you do acknowledge that. Wait, do you have the CPU already? No, you're about to buy it. Oh, no, you don't have it. So you're gonna buy a 3600, which to me doesn't sound like a good idea at all. Yeah, $500 to $700. Okay, and you're typing in here. Oh, you already have the CPU. Wait, I thought you. Oh, originally you did not have it, but now. Wait, you said budget is $500 to $700 for RAM, CPU, and GPU. If that's the case, so what are you asking about in this build? Just the GPU then? Because there's not much else to like critique. Like, yeah, you could get a cheaper hard drive than I think 64 bucks. Shouldn't 2 terabytes be like 40 bucks or something? It might not be a Barracuda compute too, Barracuda compute, but let's see, 500 gigabytes. I wish you would have laid this out by anything that you already have, put like a no price on it. Because the way that I'm looking at this, it's really hard for me to tell like what you have and don't have. Because just by looking at this, all right, you're telling me something different than what you even told me in here. You say you have the CPU, but you just said the budget for RAM, CPU, cooler, and GPU is $500 to $700. So the information has changed even from when you posted this. So yeah, you can edit it like what Demon Mint is saying here. If you have a PC Part Picker account, you can edit it to say what you already have and what you're trying to buy and then show those prices. I have everything except for the 4060 Ti, the Prism cooler, and the Corsair RAM. Oh, wait, what? So you're asking what you should buy in terms of a GPU and cooler? Because you already bought everything else? Let's see. Oh, you want on a 1 to 10. I mean, the cooler, dude, I don't care about the cooler. Like, coolers are, you can get a great cooler for 17 bucks. Freaking Thermalright Assassin, one of the X variants. In terms of the build overall, you got 16 gigs of RAM, 500 gig SSD. Okay, so all that. You want to get your graphics card in there. Now, okay, sorry, it took me a little bit just because the information was spread across multiple posts and stuff like that. But now I understand. You want to buy a graphics card essentially, and you want to know if a 4060 Ti what my thoughts are being paired with the rest of this system, which is essentially a Ryzen 5 3600, 16 gigabytes of RAM. Because everything else is, I mean, is fine. I'm not going to complain too much about pricing on this stuff just because you already have them. The 8 gigabyte 4060 Ti. So my first question is obviously going to be, do you prefer NVIDIA cards? A functional list was posted. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Oh, wait. So this was all purchased. So yeah, I mean, do you even really need a cooler? This comes with a stock cooler that actually could still work. It's gonna be louder and warmer, but okay. Needs RAM, cooler, and GPU. It needs RAM? Oh, it actually does need RAM. Okay, I thought you already had it, but you just chose the Corsair one. Dude, do you really need... It seems like you're kind of on a budget right now because you're even considering throwing in, or like, for the same price, you could get 32 gigs of RAM. Do you really need RGB Vengeance RAM from Corsair, where you only get 16 gigs for 65 bucks, where you can spend the exact same amount of money, get non-RGB RAM from like Team Group or something, and get 32 gigs. So that's gonna be, if you're gonna be buying RAM, that's gonna be my first critique. Like, what's more important to you? Double the capacity of RAM or RGB? You need a cooler. I mean, choose whatever cooler you want. You can't go wrong with any of the tower coolers between 20 to 30 bucks. You put a Wraith Prism in here. I don't know why. Do you want the Wraith Prism for the look? Did you explain this? Why did you put a Wraith Prism in here? Is it because that's what you have? Either way, if you need a new cooler, and it does seem like you're on a budget, just grab a $20 Thermalright cooler. It is going to be, because I'm going to assume you're going to be upgrading to like, assuming you keep the same motherboard, your next path up is going to be like a 5000 series, anything. 5800X3D, 5700X, 5600X, 5600, any of those. So cooler wise, if you want an AIO, you could just get, I mean, there's plenty of options between like 50 to 70 bucks. But for what you have right now, you don't need to spend any money if you already have the Wraith. Just wait until you decide exactly what CPU you're gonna buy before you spend on a cooler up front. That's if you don't already have it. If you need a cooler though, and you absolutely have to buy one because you made this list weird, then just grab a Thermalright Assassin. Now for the graphics card, did you answer the question yet? With regards to, you do not need, okay, so yeah, you don't need RGB, get more RAM. We'll look at Demon Mit's take as well. Let's see. Yeah, so back to the question. Do you, what's it called? Do you prefer NVIDIA over AMD? Demon Mit, oh, you're showing the upgraded list. I don't think, does he have enough to spend? Yeah, so he doesn't have this much budget, does he? You said 500 to 700, but you only need RAM, cooler, and GPU. So you could wait on the CPU. So we're just gonna ignore the CPU for now. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. Wow, it's even cheaper. Yeah, so Silicon Power. I think we actually pulled this RAM up last week when we put the $1,100 build together. But yeah, less than 60 bucks, you can get the same 3200 CL16 and 32 gigs with no RGB. I would also, yeah, agree with a 2 terabyte SSD just because you're currently on what, a 500? You're on a 500 gig mushkin. 6700 XT for the graphics card, but I'm trying to think, if we're not buying a if we're not buying the CPU right now, and they originally wanted a $400 card, instead of going down in price, again, the 6700 XT, very good card for $330, but if they wanted more performance, because that's why they picked the 4060 Ti, you could also get the 6800 XT or 7700 XT for $450-ish. Is that how much the 6800 XT are still going for? So, let's see, 6800 XT. They're basically the same price as the 7700 XT. 6800 XT, wow! 500 bucks. Is it because they're being phased out? These were like $440, $450 when the 7700 XT came out. Here's the 68. This is open box though, so you can't count this low price. Let me look at 7700 XT real quick. I mean, at that point, why not just go up to the 7800 XT for 500 bucks? Yeah, so these are cheaper. These are still, and it comes with the free game. These are still $450. Yeah, you're right. PSU is starting to be a concern. Actually, let's see, 2017. I mean, either way, once they get a new CPU and I feel like, depending how old their power supply is, if they don't mind upgrading it and grabbing something closer to 650 or 700 watt, they could grab, because that's going to cost you like 80 bucks. Because you are not grabbing a CPU yet, you might be able to fit it in. Yeah, kind of hard to balance the budget and try to plan for future proofness. They have up to $700, $500 to $700. That's a big range. So this all works in 700. And we would assume you would use the stock cooler from here. Wait, does 5700X come with a stock cooler? It should. It's just this image makes it look like it doesn't because the box is skewed. It should come with some kind of like Wraith. It might not be a Prism. It might be the non-RGB version, but. Did they ever chime in with regards to their NVIDIA, like why they chose the 4060 Ti to begin with? I don't see it. No preference, okay. Just not very knowledgeable. If that's the case and you actually do have $500 to $700 to spend, basically what Demon Mint laid out all makes sense. What the heck? Wait. Why does this drive seem kind of expensive though? Dude, the storage prices did not just go up that much, did they? Oh, 2 terabytes, 1 terabytes are like 60 something now. Okay, no, that the scaling is about right. I'm thinking of like the good old days of that, you know, the MP33 2 terabytes being like 80 bucks or something. But yeah, the pricing has gone up. I just did not realize that it was that much. So yeah, nothing. You're right at that limit here. No preferences. 330 bucks. You could get the 7600 XT. No, between the two, if especially you don't need AV1, the 6700 is gonna be the better buy. Yeah, I think this is pretty much it. So the main things are 5700X. If you wanted to save money, you could go 5600X as well, but there's not much like flexibility in terms of alternatives here. Like RAM wise, this is what you're gonna get for 32 gigs. 2 terabyte, I mean, you could get 1 terabyte SSD and then take that extra money and try to fit it either into, you're not gonna get that better, maybe a 5800X. And then GPU wise, maybe a 6800. What is it, RX 6800? How much are those going for? But yeah, there's not much wiggle room there. It is 400 bucks. Yeah, so if you went to a 1 terabyte, you would have a little bit to throw, or no, it's 330, that's $70 price difference. That's not enough. If you went down to 5600X, it would free up some cash too. SSDs are, okay, they are expensive now, but in the grand scheme of things, not that expensive, right? They're like, per terabyte, they're like 15 to 20 bucks more than they were in the past. Which, it sucks, but it's 15 to 20 bucks. Knowing how bad RAM got in the past before, like where prices literally doubled, and graphics cards during the pandemic, having survived the pandemic pricing, it just makes me look at everything else when it's slightly overpriced. I'm like, we've lived through way worse. And it's not like we can complain about these things like we do with the graphics cards. I'm trying to think, do we complain? Does the PC community as a whole complain and have the power to drive pricing on any other component aside from graphics cards. Doesn't happen really with like power supplies, memory, SSDs, motherboards, cases, CPUs. Is graphics cards the only one that, the only category that gets backlash to force the hand of the companies to like change pricing? $500 is the boot. Board only has 2 M.2 slots. You do a clone and then, yeah. I like, what are you really gonna be using? I mean, I'm always a fan of spending more on storage, right? I'm just trying to look at any ways to like wiggle around and move pricing around, or to move the money around. 2 terabytes, definitely worth it. I don't think anyone would ever, especially given how big games are nowadays, I don't think anyone would ever complain about having too much SSD space, especially if you can get it at around $100 price point. Yeah, with the 500 gig boot and the limited slots on the motherboard, 1 terabyte will fill up really fast. Yeah, it depends on what you do though. Like having to allocate all your downloads, and I like my boot drive to be big. Though for depending on like the person's technical skill levels and stuff like that with regards to cloning a drive, what I would do is if I had a 500 gig and got a 2 terabyte, I would make the 2 terabyte my boot drive, just because I do like video editing and stuff like that, and for me, just having everything default to the same drive and not have it spread across multiple stuff, to me it's nicer. I'll archive stuff after a while, but just to have the main program and everything on there and not ever be limited by the 500 gigs for whatever reason. As you update stuff, as you download stuff and it goes into your, you know, default download location, which you could always move that. But I always liked my boot drive to be able to basically handle everything I throw at it. Wait, what? Your personal system has a 50 gig? Wait, no way. You meant to say 500 gig, right? That parentheses is supposed to be the other 0? Also, if they've been on that same drive, I forget. How many of y'all do like every 2 to 3 years do like a full wipe of your boot drive in your computer? That's about the time frame that for me, like I do a complete wipe. You know, I back up all my important stuff and I just do a fresh install of Windows, and it just feels so nice and clean and fast and snappy. But I'm curious. I know we've pulled this before, but it's been like, I feel like a long time since we've talked about it. What is your guys's, if you do, like average time span between full reformats? And if you don't, then let me know as well. You do, Cruiser does it annually. Shauner, yeah, so that's part of sometimes the reason too. If you just build a new PC every 2 to 3 years, you're naturally gonna just do a fresh Windows install. Sometimes you move a drive over, but it's a really good excuse to do a fresh reinstall. You know, get rid of all the crap and bloat that you've installed over the years and eventually stop using. So I would say every 2 to 3 years is Pinky Tech, okay? Never wipe. You just replace the drive every 4 years, says the Smash TV Network, which is close to it is almost the equivalent. I guess I could have reframed the question as, how often do you start with a fresh operating system install? Which is same thing here. Every 6 to 8 months, says Demon Mitt. At that point, why not just take your 500 gig drive out, put it in an external enclosure, and get a bigger drive in your main PC? You're talking about your main PC that has like whatever powerful graphics card and CPU in it, and you're still booting off a 500 gig drive? How old is that drive, by the way? I'm trying to think, like, for a power user, to still have a 500 gig drive, given how cheap drives have been in the last few years, this must be an older drive that you kind of carried over. Look at stream submissions. All right, we're looking at Demon Mitt's. So that's the main boot drive right there. Filled, how is that, like 2/3 of the way? About? Yeah. And then you got a bunch of, so I'm guessing SSD here. That's a USB thumb drive, and then these are two external drives, like a my Western Digital MyBook or whatever the heck the equivalent Seagates are. Unless Big Bertha is a SSD. All 4K porn on those drives. This is enough for 8K porn. What are you talking about? Pinky Tech has a 2 terabyte boot and a 4 terabyte secondary. I still haven't moved on. Like, I have not. The biggest, I have two 2 terabytes in my system. Not in RAID or anything like that. They're just 2 separate drives. But I've not taken the leap to 4 terabytes yet. It would be nice though. It would be nice. I have different storage stuff that I use, that I archive on. So on my personal system itself, I never have, like, 4 terabytes worth of SSD storage filled to the brim. Like, once I'm done with my Premiere Pro projects and stuff, I move it to like a different drive, like my NAS or like my my portable external drive. Citrus with the what's up, 19 months. Thanks for the continued support, Citrus. I appreciate it. What's up? How you doing? Oh, see, I thought that was the case. That's the only reason that would make sense to me, is that it is a drive that was older that you got a long time ago and you're just getting the crap out of it. Yeah, so again, let me see. $200 for 500 gigabytes. Let me try to guess what year this is, just based off of, I mean, I don't track SSD prices over the years, but I'm trying to think based on like when I have been getting SSDs over the years. So 500 gigabytes for $200? What is that, like 20? Come on, let me think. Don't tell me yet. Is that like 2014? 500 gigs for $200. 2013, 2014? Oh, all right. I was thinking more budget drives. You got this in 2018, but it was the 970 Evo NVMe. Okay, yeah. The whole, once you went from like 2.5 to NVMe, and then you go like Samsung, down the Samsung rabbit hole of their premium pricing. Okay, I was way off then. I was thinking 2.5 inch. which for a boot drive, honestly, isn't that bad. To still be using SATA SSDs, it's not horrible. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to think of when I bought my first SSD. If I can't even find it. What? I think my first SSD ever was a Transcend, but I would have to find. It was 128 gigabytes on Amazon. Haha, I found it. Okay. Oh man. Let me see if I can pull this up. I just need to make sure no information is here. Okay, so we'll pull it up in here. So this is my first SSD I ever bought. Oh wait, the date's not on here. But this was back in August of 2012 from Amazon. It was $75 for 128 gigabytes. Oh no, the date is on here. Yeah, delivery estimate, August 17, 2012. So my first ever, like me jumping over from HDD to SSD was about 11-ish years ago. And yeah, dude, that feeling when you got your first SSD ever and seeing how fast Windows booted up was just like mind-blowing. And then you told all your friends, dude, you gotta get into SSDs. You became that guy if you were the first one in your friend group to get an SSD, to try to convince everyone else that they need it. And you would show them like your boot speeds and stuff like that. Oh man. Those were the days. And then, honestly, going from the SATA SSDs to NVMEs, yeah, you do get way faster transfer speeds and stuff like that. But with regards to like boot times and all that, it's not that dramatically different. Nowhere near as huge as when you went from the spinning disks. So, yeah, KL 130s. Oh, my first SSD was 2021. Man, those were some good prices. 2021 were the days of good price SSDs. Checking on way back. I mean, I'm sure I could find this drive on Amazon as is. Transcend, what is this thing? They'll still have it. They might even have some used versions. Oh, here we go. I have the model name. All right, Amazon. Let's go. Nope, they don't have it. What does a Transcend 128? Do they even have? I'm not looking for. I mean, it was something similar to this. Oh my God, 30 bucks? That is horrible value. B&H has photos of it though. Yeah, this was it. I don't know where this drive ended up eventually going. Probably sold it alongside one of the systems when I sold my PC to build a new one or something. Uh-oh. Wait, someone just tipped. Vaporizer, you still here? I feel bad because... Did it pop up on stream? Vaporizer. I missed it. I don't know, remember what I was talking about an hour ago. But Vaporizer asked... Can you stream one day with Neon and go to Kai Cenat, Duke Dent? What? Who the heck is Neon and go to Kai? I know who Kai Cenat is. I don't understand this question though. Thank you for the tips. Apologies for missing it, but I'm not a fan of Kai Cenat, Duke Dennis Riz World. What is all this? Is this like some Zoomer streamer young kids thing now? Some Twitch things? That's what I'm guessing. Though Kai Cenat, is he even on Twitch anymore, or did he go to Kick? I get glimpses of like streamer news here and there, but dude, Kai Cenat is the type of streamers that I just can't watch, where they're just yelling 100% of the time and just overreacting, you know, stuff like that. It just seems so fake. I can't. I know who ISO Speed is. Also along the same lines. I just don't get it. I think the thing is, I don't know if people in their 30s should get Kai Cenat and ISO Speed. I understand why kids like it. I understand why, you know, someone anywhere between the ages of 10 and maybe 16, maybe 17, pushing 18 would like that type of content. But I don't understand why people straight up in like their late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s would watch Kai Cenat and Team. We're not the demo, it's okay. Yeah, it's just, I was just kind of this $1 donation asking me to go to their stream. It didn't make sense to me. I have nothing against them. They're super successful, you know. Some of the stuff they do could be borderline dangerous or a bad influence, but you know, they usually learn from their mistakes and apologize, all that stuff. So yeah, I find that statement offensive as a 17-year-old. Do you not like those streamers? Who are they again? Dennis? Who the heck is Neon? Is he the guy? I think I might know who Neon is. Just because I saw some. Yep, okay. I know. I've seen this person. I think the thing I saw about him was like he got kicked out of a UFC event because he threatened Donald Trump and they got wind of it, so they kicked him out or something. Yeah, so that's Neon. I don't know what they do. What did this person do to become very famous and successful online? I don't even know what, like, ISO Speed. He used to do FIFA stuff, right? I think. He likes soccer. But I don't know, like, what was their rise to fame? Aside from streaming, but what did they stream? Before they made it big, what were they doing? Pinky Tech says, I have no idea who any of these people are. I feel like my wife is explaining the differences of designer handbags to me. You telling me you don't know the difference between like Coach, Louis Vuitton, what else is there? I don't know. That's like the only two brands that I know. Kate Spade. Don't worry, my wife also has handbags that I have no idea why they are so expensive. Oh, we have passed the 2-hour mark. Okay, just let me make sure we got everything covered on the... So stream submissions. Okay, so there's the drive, DMX drive, as well as, let's see, that PC I built nuts for the time. 8700K, I had that. I had that processor, 16 gigs of RAM. Yep, I did run my 8700K with 16 gigs as well. Not CL14 though. Well, I don't remember what my RAM speed was. I'm pretty sure it was like 3000 CL16. SLI 1070s. Who the heck is Vex? Why does that sound familiar? It's all about age segmentation. Look at Vex. What do you mean by that? What's up, Death? Ryan, I saw dude. I saw the hate that Jawa was getting, kind of. It was actually not, okay, last thing before we actually get ready to go. So on the LTT subreddit, someone posted a hate post towards Jawa because they had them in the sponsor. Oh, here it is. I just saw this randomly scrolling through Reddit today. Yes, I did see you slay, so we're gonna go over this. Before we do that though, Jones and Phone says, Danny, where do you get the music in the stream background? It's Stream Beats by Harris Heller. It's made for people who stream, copyright free. You can use it in videos and stuff. They won't demonetize you. But yeah, Stream Beats by Harris Heller is what it's called. They have a bunch of different themes. I choose the hi-fi and chiptune. There's like hundreds of tracks that's like copyright free. But okay, this came back to be a W, indeed. So this person made this post, Gunpla Goobster. They said, Jawa, today's sponsor, is a huge ripoff. So they read, I was curious what the payouts would be for Jawa and tested trying to sell various cards. Which, if you guys didn't know, I've even done the sponsor spot for this, for Jawa. Jawa is a marketplace where you can sell your stuff on. Catered mainly towards gamers, PC enthusiasts, which is what makes it like easier to find and sell things than, let's say, eBay. So they also have a program though where if you don't want to make a listing, write out your description and all that kind of stuff, take pictures, they will straight up buy graphics cards from you. But because of this system, what they're going to do is they're going to buy your graphics card, then they're going to, you know, clean it up, make sure it works, and then resell it. So they're going to have to offer you kind of like a pawn shop, probably not as bad as a pawn shop because pawn shops freaking super rip you off. They're going to offer you lower than market value because they are going to have to list it at market value as well as pay for overheads and, you know, stuff like that. Testing fee or employee hours testing, things like that. So this person is just complaining, saying they posted their 2080 Ti and Jawa offered 140 bucks. Less than $150. A 2080 Ti, while old, is still going upwards of $400 in working condition on eBay. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, that must be like a special Founders Edition or something like that. But I'm sure you can find 2080 Ti's for less than $400. A GTX 970, which is a decent card, will net you a whopping $14. $14 is low for a 970. I would buy it for $14 any day of the week, but you gotta consider a 970 is like 10 years old by this point. You can only get so much for it. I think these really are only going for, what, 40 bucks, if that? 40 to 50 bucks, and you have to account for, you know, the cost of shipping and taxes and time taken to clean and test the cards. $14, while it doesn't sound like a lot, ends up sounding kind of reasonable if you look at the full picture. A 3070 Ti will only net you a bountiful $185. A 3080, $255. The website seems like a ripoff. I would not recommend anyone sell their hardware here. So, they posted this, and then everyone basically said, you're stupid. This is how it works in the real world. Like everybody. But Ryan here, hi there, I'm Ryan. This is Death Tech in the chat. Chimed in and gave like the best response that you could give in a situation like this when someone's trying to throw crap at your company. I want to read it because it was so well written. Hi there, I'm Ryan and I manage the GPU program at Jawa. I understand concern over the offers, but I want to reiterate what some other folks already are commenting. Our GPU buying service is not geared towards everybody. Our program is specifically catered towards individuals that want a quick and hassle-free sale of their old GPU. It's easy to overlook the fact that this is a business. We have overhead, such as shipping costs, testing, cleaning, storage, etc. We highly encourage all consumers to list the items themselves to get the most value out of their hardware. You could list the item, you could set your own price, and, you know, after paying fees and stuff, make way more money. Well, and they even say whether it's on Jawa or any other marketplace or just to shop around in general and do what gets you the most value for your hardware. I encourage you to shop around at some of our competitors like Cell GPU, Newegg, Micro Center, which only offer programs to trade in your hardware. We can't always beat their prices. We can certainly try. I appreciate you posting your feedback and would love to see you make a listing for your card on Jawa, but do whatever gets you the most value. That's just like, you cannot, like, there's no way you can argue with a response like this. This is basically a open shut case. You done goofed. Everyone is supporting. Yeah. And then Ryan in the chat is saying, check the Newegg subreddit. People get their cards rejected all the time for whatever reasons, it seems. So yeah. Newegg rejects cards all the time. I know because we rejected someone's 2080 Ti and Jawa bought it instead. Lol. So yeah. I mean, like for me, someone who's already cheap to begin with and always looking for the most value, even like I will proudly promote this program that Jawa has and and put them on sponsor segments and stuff like that. Though I don't know if I would ever sell a graphics card to them because I don't mind listing locally or on other websites and putting in the work because I kind of enjoy doing that. It's also free content. So I would not use a program like this, but I'm not just gonna shoot it down because I do understand, based on experience, I have so many family members who just straight up give me graphics cards because it is more of a hassle for them to list it and make, some money than to just give it to me and get it off of their hands and clear space. Plenty of people out there like that. So that's who this program is marketed towards. And then Micro Center apparently only takes trade-ins of cards purchased at Micro Center originally. So you gotta have your receipts in the system or something, okay. Mike is saying, Danny, you should start a community swap and trade board PC user groups once. Wait, what? Community swap and trade board. PC user groups once did, then why not? Okay, we technically have a community swap page on our Discord. It's not often used, but we have it, and I have bought something from it. So if we go to the Discord server, if you go to, where is it at? Buy, sell, trade. I made a buy, sell, trade channel, and it's in a forum view, so people list their things that they're trying to sell. It's just, the Discord is still pretty small, so I think the only transaction that has ever happened was this person posting, where's that post at? I even posted my camera on here for sale, but did they get rid of their post? I bought a CPU and graphics card from here though. So yeah, I mean, this is basically a community swap board where you can buy, sell, and trade your stuff. The only thing is, I think I put it in the fine print. Where's the thing? Let me, where's the information about this channel? How do I pull that up? No, I basically said, if you get scammed on here, don't come crying to me because I urge people to use PayPal goods and service and methods of protecting your money. If you somehow get scammed by another community member, that's the risks of buying in the used market. That's why you don't take shortcuts. You pay the fees that it takes to use goods and services, and you do it like that. So. Yeah, buy, sell, trade is definitely dead on the server. But, I mean, if you think about it, again, the people who join the server aren't necessarily like big-time PC builders or flippers and things like that. Those are the type of people who are constantly going to be moving parts and buying. Mostly, it seems like buying, not so much selling, because they're keeping the stuff for themselves. But yeah, buy, sell, trade is just like, hey, if you want another place to post, then you could potentially move stuff. But you have to price it accordingly. Stuff doesn't move because people overprice it. But if you price it for good enough, like the other person who posted the 5800X and the 3060 Ti, I mean, I bought it within a day, so. So you don't take blame for your own community. Here's the thing. That's like saying, do I take blame for everyone who is subscribed to me on YouTube? No, because I can't have control over it. The only thing I can control is if something goes wrong, I ban them or suspend them, which is me not taking blame, but me fixing the problem. I don't personally know every person who joins my Discord server, so I don't think I should be expected to take blame for consenting adults to sell things to each other using PayPal goods and services. Like, I don't think that should be expected of me either. That's how scammers work. They're not going to announce, hey, I'm a scammer, so that they can get banned off the bat. They secretly try to blend in with the community until they're able to scam someone, at which point, once they're reported, they get banned. Danny, you scammed me by proxy. How did I scam you by proxy? What are you talking about? Hello, love. What's up? You on your skates? Let me see. Yes. Melissa just got some new roller skates. We've been skating. I wish I could show you the footage maybe next week. How do they feel? Good? Okay, better than the other one? Okay, nice. Dude, I was serious about getting into the roller skating, man. Just got some new wheels. Oh, doing crossovers, learning all these different... I did my first 180 double toe stop the other day, which, I don't know, man. I feel like back when we were younger, just getting onto roller skates or roller blades, it just felt so easy. But once you're like a full-grown adult, it's a lot harder to get back into stuff like this. But we've been going weekly to roller skate, and it's been a blast. And I'm excited that this is a new hobby that both me and my wife are picking up, and it's been a ton of fun. Yeah, roller skates, son. It's weird because roller skates and roller skate rinks are like slowly dying, but I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's been a while since I picked up like a actual new hobby. And yeah, it's like the most random thing ever, but those YouTube videos, man, they got me. Oof, I never learned to use quads inline. Yeah, so most of my life I was like, you know what, inlines are so much, I think inlines are easier than quads. But quads have this crazy smoothness about them that once you master it, it just looks so cool, and it feels good too. I might eventually get inlines as well, just to do both, but quads right now, I'm enjoying the crap out of it. I've fallen at the skate rink multiple times and stuff like that. People have laughed at me, but it's all good. Dude, nude roller skating? What is this? Is a good way to spice up the marriage? What? Wait, Mike is saying the pinnacle of... Am I a player? No, how am I a player? I've been with the same woman for the last... coming up on 10 years. We're almost at the 10-year mark. Not yet. At the end of this year, we'll be at the 10-year mark. How am I a player? So the pinnacle of swap and trade boards is the ability of this channel to administer group new product buys from retail. So you're talking about like if you can get enough... Yeah, for what retail though? Can you give me an example? I feel like if you're trying to do group buys and stuff like that, that works for like more niche, small companies. Like, I don't know, keyboard parts, keyboard keycaps, I don't know, that kind of stuff. I've not really heard of people doing group buys for like straight up, especially like, you're talking about like new hardware? Like straight up new graphics cards, new motherboards and stuff like that. Isn't it hard to get everyone to agree on a specific model of motherboard to buy in the first place to get the amount of volume? To me, that doesn't seem like a thing, especially with my own community, that would be successful. Cases, yeah. Hardware to me doesn't make sense. There's like, how can you get hundreds of people to agree on one motherboard that you're all gonna go in to buy enough to get a discount on. Cases, even cases, there's like so many cases available. I think you have to have enough of a community that has money to spend, which I don't know, man. Nerd on a budget, the types of people who watch used content and stuff, people don't have that much disposable income just to be participating in group buys and things like that. Imagine falling nude roller skating and getting road rash. Ooh. I guess, can you give me one example of a real group buy that has taken place recently that you are aware of? Like, how many were bought? What was the product? What was the retailer? I just need examples. Because to me, in my mind, especially with the community, our Discord is tiny, it doesn't even seem like a thing that would ever be possible. But I just want to know like specific examples that you know of. Okay, Ryan, pole vaulting. First of all, why are you hard to begin with? But that's all I'm gonna say. Danny, what games do you play? So right now, I'm playing hardcore classic WoW. I still jump into Halo Infinite from time to time. Dude, as soon as I get this review video out for the 7600 XT, the full review video, I'm putting a lot of hours in the POW world. The only reason I'm not no-lifing POW world right now is because I still gotta finish this review. But yeah. Newegg does group buys every day now, just on their deal page? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What? This is a different context of group buys, though, than I was thinking of. All right, so group buys. I've actually never paid attention. Where did it go? It was just up here. Oh, group buy, new. Ah, it's a new feature. So what is this? This is essentially, oh my God, what is this, like mixing Kickstarter stretch goals to get the price lower if a certain amount of people buy it? Okay, do they show the history? And then the shell shocker. Is that what shell shocker is? Oh, let's see this robot back. Okay, I need to find one that's in progress. No, that's not it. It's a different thing every day. Dang it. I wanted to see what it was. Wait. Yo, does this have LiDAR? It does. Wait, no. Does it scan? Never mind. It doesn't look like it does. I lied. I mean, I guess this is a way for like, you know, Yuffie to try to generate more hype and to be able to provide a lower price. It's kind of like a pre-order. I mean, you're actually buying it, but you get it for a lower price if the goals reach. This is an interesting concept, yeah. But this is like a part of Newegg. They're facilitating it. The idea of trying to get people to commit money and then approaching a retailer to do that type of a group buy, I don't know. I don't know if I trust 100 strangers to put their money where their mouth is when it comes time to actually pay if I do negotiate a deal with the retailer and not look like a fool when people eventually decide to change their mind, if that makes sense. The robot vac is the only one today. You can still get in on it. Okay, interesting. I'm happy with my Wise vac, but I mean, robot vacs, if you have the type of house that can support it, they are so nice. Like hard flooring, oh my God. It is amazing how much dust and dirt carpet hides, because once we went to hard flooring on our main floor, it was so easy to tell when the floor was dirty, but we have the Wise robot vac that scans the walls and stuff like that, so it can map out the path, and it's super nice. It makes it so that we almost never have to actually clean, except for, you know, every like months in between when we have to actually spot vacuum or mop. Doesn't Anker? Yes, Anker, I mean, Anker has branched out to so many things now. They're not just chargers and batteries. They have a lot of like just general consumer electronics. You start a special interest group that approaches the retail operator to meet their spec. It's a crowdfunding today in current spec terms. Wait, did you give the example? I might have missed it. Demon said Bitch Power was trying to get anyone selling on Jawa to buy a bunch of their stuff. I'm sure small companies like that would be more. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that even like Gamdius, I bet you, like the smaller scale companies would be more down for stuff like that. WYWGAH, are you going to release all the LTX interviews? Yeah, they're coming out slowly in the forms. Wait, were you one of the people interviewed? They are coming out in the form of YouTube Shorts. Initially, I was going to make a full-blown video of it, but unfortunately, because the 2 LTX videos I did release that I thought were going to perform well didn't, I didn't think a full version of that would perform well. But surprisingly, those interviews work so well for YouTube Shorts content. My YouTube Shorts numbers have been like crazy like recently. So yeah, all the interviews eventually will come out. It's just I space them out whenever I have time to edit it. Cougar is another company that I would imagine that would do that as well. I've only ever built in the Cougar, was it the Spike case? Yeah, I've only ever built in the Cougar Spike. It's because I bought it literally for like $14 or something from, it was in a build video I did. But yeah. $7:30. Yeah, I gotta get going soon. So we got 5 minutes left. I'm just gonna chill for the last 5 minutes reading chat. In terms of upcoming content, this thing is the priority, getting the actual review video. Because, I mean, if you think about it, only like a small fraction of the people are here. We only have like 100-something concurrent viewers at any given time. And then some people watch the VOD afterwards, but a majority of the people will not have really heard my thoughts on this. So I'll have those fully fleshed out in the video coming at the end of the week. But Danny, you play some virtual reality? So my virtual reality headset, which is the Lenovo, what the heck is it? It's the Lenovo something. Unfortunately, it died. I wanted to start playing Beat Saber again, but my cheap refurbished headset that I bought just died after I haven't used it for a long time. I tried to like clean the terminals and stuff like that. It might be like a mainboard problem on the headset. The 2 controller grips still work, but I mean at this point, it's also a tethered VR headset, so I don't know, man. Just the Quest sounds like such a nice upgrade to be like tether free, no wire, no cables or anything. What's a 3090 going for these days? Honestly, off the top of my head, I do not know. Just because, I mean, for a top tier card like that, it'll still hold its value and probably not be worth it compared to like a 4080 or something, or a 4070 Ti Super. But let me see. Yeah, see, you can get a 3090 used for about 80 or 800 bucks is the cheapest. I guess 750 for the, oh my God. What happened to this card? It's so dirty. This one's 750, but 0 reviews. Seems kind of legit though. The picture looks real. No item description. I don't know, maybe it's not real. Never mind, I take that back. So yeah, it looks like 800 is probably the more realistic going price. You could just get, well, I guess that would be the 4070 Ti Super now, right? Time to flex your $500. Yes, exactly, Shauner. Exactly. Just use it. Just use it and sell whatever card you are currently. You're using the 3080, right? You could sell the 3080. Actually, I don't know, man. Founders Edition cards, I would be more tempted to keep them because they look awesome. But not everyone has, you know, the ability to just hold on to hundreds of dollars worth of PC hardware as an aesthetic showcase piece. And did everyone notice no 40 whatever super reviews included the 3090? You're talking about from like, wait, did Gamers Nexus and all of them not include the 3090 in it? And Hardware Unboxed? That's surprising. Yeah, definitely. I have specific cards. They're older cards, but that I keep on the shelf for looks. They're not worth anything, so it makes it easier not to sell them. But yeah. None of them. Okay, let me see this. Really? I'm not gonna pull it up on the stream, but I'm just gonna look at it in the background. Let's see. Okay, so now, honestly, so NVIDIA sent me something. They didn't tell me what they sent me. Now I'm thinking, did they actually send me a 4070 Ti Super? I thought they sent me the 4070 Super after the fact, but they might have sent me the Ti Super, which makes more sense given that that would have given me time to test the card. But I haven't gone to my P.O. box to pick it up yet, so whoopsies, we'll see. We'll see, but okay, Hardware Unboxed. Let me look at these numbers. 4080, yeah, no 3090. To be fair, that's interesting. They include like 2060 Super, 2070 Super, so they include the low-end cards that aren't even close to competing, but why not include the 3090? They don't have 4090 numbers either, so I don't know. Maybe it's just too niche, too outside of the like consumer price range to even really consider. Interesting. Yeah, they went up to 3080 10 gigabyte, but no 3090. Huh. I don't know. I mean, once you can only fit so many numbers on a chart, right? They might have had the data and they just said, you know what, it's not of value to people, so cut it. I don't know what their thought process is. You should ask them on Twitter. They're actually pretty good at responding to people on Twitter. All right, that's gonna be it for this stream though. Thank you everyone for making it another fun-filled, super, I mean, we were talking, I feel like I was talking my head off today. There's a lot to talk about, even though, I mean, we spoke about the 7600 XT and then moved on to a lot of different topics, and kept the flow of the chat going pretty nicely. So thank you guys, as always, for joining me on this Wednesday evening, just to hang out, have good times, and talk about, you know, nerd stuff. But yeah, we will do this again, as always, next week, same time, same day, and just be on the lookout for the inevitable review that comes out for this, as well as other YouTube Shorts content. But everyone, have a good night, stay safe out there, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.